Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. Excuse me for a moment. My camera decided to move at the last second. Just so you know, before I get started on anything else, I am holding my show notes in my hand. Um, this podcast, Naturally Kim's Knitting, is all about knitting and sewing and spinning and dyeing and lots of crafty things. This is episode 88, and yes, I'm back home again. Um, it was a wonderful trip. And I cannot say that I do not miss my grandchildren and my daughter. But I'm going to try to make it through without crying. It was a long, long day yesterday spent on an airplane, but I was happy to make it home. So, anyways, um, I'm Kim. I'm your hostess, and all of this glorious crafty stuff takes place in my home outside of Lima, Ohio. And yes, I am actually outside of Lima, Ohio now. So, anyways, I don't know how long this podcast is going to be. It's mainly going to be acquisitions that came while I was gone. But there are a few things that I have been knitting on before I left. One of them I didn't bring over because it's the annual temperature Afghan, and I have not ordered more yarn for it yet, so it has not made any progress. I suppose I should put it in hibernation. I just hate to do that right now. Oh, well, I guess I have it marked down as being in hibernation. Okay, so it is in hibernation. Then the second thing, as you guys all know, I had a knit along last time about double knitting. And just as a refresher, because I'm not real far on it, but I am happy with it, and I'm going to continue working on it little by little since I am home now. This is called The Graceful Lily. It's from the book Knitting Double by Anya Bell. I love it. Yeah, I think it's pretty. The yarns are from Knit Picks palette, Marine Heather, and Mist. And you'll notice I use a lot of Knit Picks yarn, but that's because I love their yarn, number one. Their prices are good. And I tote them on here because I'm also an affiliate with them and with Amazon, as anybody who's watched me for a while knows. I don't get much from them. Couple pennies, but you know what? The couple pennies, if any of you click the links in my show notes, the couple pennies help to buy prizes, postage, whatever. So let's see, that's those two things. I've got to see what else I've got going. Oh, where's my yellow bag? It's lost in my acquisitions. Just a moment. It wasn't truly lost in my acquisitions. It was over by them. I was just blind for a minute. So while I was at my daughter's, I broke my longer cabled size 1 needles. And that's what I used to cast on toes for socks. So the only one I had out there were my zippity doodahs. And they're very hard to cast on and work the toe with. But I really wanted to work on a sock on the plane. So I did it. I decided that Monday I was going to get the toe of my son's sock done. If you saw Sunday, you saw that I got sock number 1 done. This is his birthday socks, which are late, yes, but you know. I got sock 1 done, not blocked. And I flared it at the top because I want it to fit on his calf nicely. And I made it this far on sock 2. It won't be long till I'll be ready for the heel. Let's see. He's got a long foot. So it's to there, if you can see. So I've still got a couple inch or so. But I like working on it. Like I said, it is for my son. So I have a box of yarn that I either bought out in California. Yeah, I bought it out in California. I don't think there might be one skein that I took with me that I didn't get to use. And I ended up having to mail it back home to me. So sometime this week it's going to be like Christmas. I don't know what made me think about that. But so anyways, that's all the things that are on my needles right now. Finished objects, Zippo since Sunday. But then on Sunday, you saw all the things that I made while I was out in California. Had a good time. And my grandson has worn his sweater, and my granddaughter She likes her honey sweater, but she likes the cardigan I made better because she told me yesterday, I don't like sweaters. I said, well, then why do you ask Grandmom to make them for you? She goes, I like jackets. So the little honey sweater I made for her ties in the front. I guess that's considered a sweater. But the pretty pink with the yellow mosaic in it, the satellite sweater that I test knitted, that is considered a jacket. So she likes it. I said, okay, well, I need to get approval before I make anything for my granddaughter, which I try to do anyways, but you know. Um, what are some things that have made me happy? This isn't going to be a long podcast, like I said, because I just did one Sunday. Um, being home. I love having the freedom of being able to go out to California, like this time. I mean, my son-in-law's in the Air Force, and he's deployed, and he was deployed for quite a long time this time. And I couldn't be out there the whole time, but I was so glad I was able to take like 7 weeks. I'm glad I have that freedom that I can do that. I wish I could have stayed longer. Yes, I would have loved to stay till Thanksgiving, just, to be there for her. He'll be home middle of December, which is wonderful. So they'll be able to celebrate Christmas and everything as a family. But as we were going to the airport yesterday, my granddaughter goes, so Daddy comes home tomorrow? So sad. Because no, Daddy's not coming home today. So, anyways, I bought this yarn. I ordered it from Michaels to come here. I do like Michaels too, because I've always liked Caron yarn. And I found a pattern on the Michaels site for a poncho. I still think I'm going to make it for her. It's a little bit heavy. She had said she wants skirts and things. I'll see. It's either going to be a poncho or a skirt. I got 3 of these, and this is an acrylic and wool and 3% other fiber. I love that. It's a super bulky yarn, so I don't know if a skirt would work out of this. I still think I'm going to go with poncho for this and make her a skirt out of something else sometime. I have skirt patterns. I just don't have them on hand right now, or have the yarn to make it with, believe it or not. Let's see. Oh, I said I like Michaels. My daughter goes to Michaels. They have a wonderful art class for children. And it meets on Saturday out there in Vacaville. And my daughter goes with my granddaughter. And my granddaughter does different art. She's done slime. She's done a beaded necklace. Tons and tons of things. So wonderful. And it's a wonderful creative outlet for my granddaughter. She's very artistic. I think my grandson is going to go along the same veins. He's starting to enjoy painting and things. So I really do enjoy Michael's art classes that they offer. I don't know if they're everywhere, but check them out if you have a little one. You buy a little card for them, and I think there's like 4 or 5 classes on there that they get with the card, and it saves money from class to class, but that helps pay for the materials and things. And the classes are great. I mean, there were some days, Saturdays, where my granddaughter may have been the only one in the class, but it's not, you don't come at a set time and leave at a set time. You come, work on your project, and leave. So she made a couple masterpieces and all kinds of things. So I'm in love with it, and I do highly recommend, if you have a little one, whether child, grandchild, neighbors, whatever, look into this. This is wonderful. And when I was out there, my daughter was able to then look around Michael's for a little bit while my grandson was able to go to sleep in his little carrier. So anyways, I love that. Then, of course, you've heard me mention wool bothies. Well, lambing season was over. So, of course, they have some of my wonderful, wonderful roving that came up on auction. And I got some of this really beautiful dark roving. I got 4 of this. And all their roving is so soft. Then I have this gray. I'm trying to find, there. Beautiful gray. I'm not sure what you call this one, but I love the color. It's a light brown, and it's really nice. And then I believe this one is fawn. I noticed there's a break in it, but that's okay. When I'm spinning, it won't show. And then hangs from the hood. I saw this braid of roving. Oh, it's turning it yellow. There it goes. And I do love the colors in this. So I can't wait to see how this weaves up, spins up. Yes, I'm anxious to start back with my spinning again. Oh, and also from Wool Bothies, I got this pretty, it's earth colors, earth tones, sock yarn. And I know somebody who loves earth tone socks. My son. So even though I had other earth tone socks yarn for him, this may be next year or something. And then whenever I order from Knit Picks, I always get a skein of yarn for socks. And I got some Stroll fingering weight yarn. Where's the color? Oh, there's the color. No. Superwash Merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards fingering weight. Oh, there it is. I know how to read labels. Borealis hand painted, and I've worked with this before. Lots and lots of purples. And it is as rich in color as it looks like. I'm change positions. I'm trying to get the lighting better. So, let's see. Hangs in the Hood, Knit Picks, Wool Bothies, all kinds of things. Oh yes, we have a new contest. Well, not contest, knit along. Knit along, craft along. It is a contest too. Knitting for others. I did this last year, and I like making it a 2-month knit along. I had said Sunday that if you started something by November 1st, you could put it in. Because I like doing this knit along because this is the time of the year when you start getting your thoughts together about what I have knitted and who I'm going to give it to and everything, or what am I going to knit now. And so I thought last year this is a wonderful place for people to, my nose itches, post the projects that they are making for other people. For example, if I get my son's sock done in time, it's a birthday present, yes, but I'm knitting it for others. If I get some chemo caps done, they're for other people. It could be for charity. It can be for a Christmas present, Hanukkah, just because. It could be for anything. You do need to post a picture in the thread. I haven't started the thread yet. I will get the thread up either today or tomorrow. Post a picture in the thread along with the pattern name if you have it. And if you want to, you could put down who you're... Well, yes, I would like you to put down if you're knitting it for a Christmas present or a present, or if it's for charity, or what else it might be going for. So those could not have been started before November 1st, but this runs through January 1st, because I know there are still some get-togethers that people have after Christmas. Go ahead and post them up until January 1st. You can poly dip this in other knit along, and it doesn't have to be knit. It could be crochet too. It's just a little bit easier to put knit along than craft along, but it doesn't have to be knit. It could be knit, crocheted, sewn, whatever. And it can go into other craft alongs as long as it fits everybody's rules. The prizes will either be, the winner gets to choose either one skein of my yarn, Napier's Knits Yarns, or one pattern of their choice from Ravelry. Let's see, and a little bit, I already talked about that. Oh, the one most important rule is in order to enter this, you do have to be a member of the Ravelry's group, Naturally Kim's Knitting. It's my podcast group. All you have to do is sign in there, and then you can put your entry in the thread, and if you win, you'll get a prize. But if, you have to be a member in order to do it. Let's see. After I draw names, I will close this on January 1st, and after I draw a winner's name, that person has 2 weeks from the time I draw it to claim their prize. And then I will mail it out soon after that. Last month's winner, I need to get together with you yet and talk about colors. She wants a skein of my yarn. And so I need to let her know what I have so that she can pick. Okay, guess what? I'm still reading a book I started out in California. I've not been able to complete it yet. I'm getting there. It's by Ken Follett. Oh, it's so good. Um, when I do, and I'm starting book reviews again now. It was hard to do them out there because I hated to take the time away from my grandkids. You know, if you're going to be only be with them for a few weeks a year, you got to get all those playing with trains, dancing, going to their class, all that whenever you can. So that's what I didn't do book reviews while I was out there. I'm so far behind. Okay, so where can you find me online? Well, you can find me on Ravelry as Naturally Kim's Knitting, and of course my podcast group is Naturally Kim. I'm sorry. Whoop. You can find me on Ravelry as Napier's Knits. The podcast group is Naturally Kim's Knitting. Etsy, my store name is Napier's Knits. Instagram, I'm knittin_Kim. And on YouTube, Blogger, Facebook, and WordPress, I'm Naturally Kim's Knitting. And WordPress and Blogger are where you'll find my show notes at. I put with the links. I put show notes in Ravelry, but it is kind of a headache to put the links in and all this, so I don't put the links in there. But feel free to go to my Blogger or my WordPress, and there you can get to the links. Okay, well, I believe that's it. There was more to share than I thought there would be. Like I said, I am very glad to be home, and I thank you for all your thoughts and prayers and your wonderful support for my hit and miss podcasting while I was in California. I truly appreciate it. I will be back on a regular schedule, where I'll be taping on Wednesdays again starting, this week. So you'll be able to get back into a regular schedule with this podcast, and as will I. Okay, well, I hope all of you, whether you're old or new, I want you to know I love you all. Big hugs to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderfully successful week with your crafting. Very few mistakes, if any, and if you have a mistake, I hope it is easy to correct. I love you all. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.